Alright everyone, welcome back. Thank you for watching and subscribing. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. And comment, because it does help the algorithms in the YouTube land to help the channel grow. And the more I can grow, the more that you can grow with my knowledge and my experience. So check this out. I'm doing an OCI, which is an oil change interval service for a Lexus. And it's probably one of the oil changes I prefer not to do, only because it's an oil change, right? Some are easy, some are not, some are mess, some aren't. And it's not a fun job. But I'm doing it. And then we're going to talk a little bit. So hopefully you can see me. I'm going to set you up without my phone falling. You see me? Alright. So yesterday, Jude, actually this morning, I'm watching TikTok, and there's a guy that's on there that says, why do you, someone asked him why he charges so much for a tire patch. So he said, I charge $80 for a tire patch, and then he did a video on why he does that. So he's like, well, you can go buy a new tire for $500 or pay me $80 to patch your tire, which I thought was kind of aggressive and ballsy, but if you're getting $80 to patch a tire, kudos to you. Do I feel that it's worth $80? I guess. You got a $500 tire or a $300 tire, not including installation or something like that, possibly. But I'll just break it down to you. The average tire shop charges $30 to install a tire, right? So that's take it off the wheel, old tire off the wheel, new tire on the wheel, and balance it. Most cases, $30. This guy's charging another $50 just to patch the tire. I feel that that's high, but if he's getting it, kudos to him. You tell me what you guys think about that. Some guy on TikTok. And then this comes from us yesterday when we were going to Dairy Queen in Pennsauken, that I seen a mobile mechanic in a Honda Odyssey doing a brake service in a guy's very white driveway, white concrete driveway. And I could see that there's brake rust and debris and brake clean stains on his driveway. So I don't know if that customer is going to realize that. I would bet you he will, after he sees that his brake job is done and his driveway's a mess. And brake parts today, on the low side, cost around $120 for pads and rotors, not including brake clean and whatever else you need for the job. And then you got to have travel time now, gasoline, and labor. So what is this guy charging to do a brake job? He probably wound up paying more than he would come into a place that wouldn't leave a mess in his driveway. And then what happens when there's a comeback, like, oh, my brake pedal's going to the floor, the caliper locked up, or I got a noise. Do you think those guys are coming back? I would say only the very reputable ones, maybe with business liability insurance, a lettered and logoed van saying who they are, or vehicle. But I don't think the average Joe who's a Facebook mobile mechanic, or I don't even know if Craigslist mobile mechanics even exist, but I would say beware, people. And it didn't look like the guy was struggling for money, in my opinion, because his lawn was meticulous, his driveway was pure white, not anymore, and he had a Honda or Acura getting rear disc brakes. I mean, anywhere you go for rear disc brakes in a professional environment, you're going to spend anywhere from, I'm going to say, $500 to $800. I mean, we price shop, you know, Pepco's average brake job, pads and rotors on some cars is $500, or almost $100 less than that, by choice. So I can only imagine what a mobile mechanic's charging. He's not getting parts any cheaper than me, myself. And then even if he ordered them online, which I doubt that he did, the house was a block from Advanced Auto Parts or AutoZone or whatever it was. I'm sure he just went there and bought the parts on his way to the job. So yeah, at least if the customer had an issue, all he needs to do is call a name brand shop or a real business and say, hey, I'm having a problem, can you just check it out? And I've had it happen. Do a great job. Customers driving it for a couple of days, we tell them to drive it easy, they get out, they go out and get on it a little bit, they smell the brakes cooking, And then we explained to them, like, hey, you're still in the curing process. Come in, let's take a quick look. That's all at my expense. You know? I already got paid to do this job. I don't get paid to do it twice. Or even answer the phone call, which I'm, I'm not getting paid for that, or answer questions. I already got paid once to do the job, but that's part of what we do. I would highly doubt that a mobile mechanic who's a non-reputable, non-licensed, insured, non-licensed, is even going to call him back or come back, or let alone clean his driveway. So now I got the oil draining out of this Lexus onto the fun part, which is removing the oil filter cap. It's always so much fun. And then I was telling a Snap-on guy that I've had this Matco ratchet for like, and we don't have a Matco or Mac dealer anymore. They don't come around because I guess it's just not lucrative for them because nobody spent. I bought tools, but now they don't come around, so now I wind up throwing their tools in the trash when they break. But this one's about 20 years old, not 20 years, 18 years old, going on 19, and it's never broke. I can tell you I've broken Snap-on hand ratchets, half-inch drywalls, definitely, for sure. But that one hasn't broke, I'm shocked. So now, we're going to get the oil filter off, with this cartridge style. Cartridge. You know, this oil change, you can find some specials out there, I'm sure, but 6 quarts of synthetic oil in a cartridge filter is going to run you 90, $100 in most places, if not more. And that's the way it is. I'll be right back. I gotta grab the filter. Only because we do so many of them do I know the part. Tell you a short story. So GM's 2.5 something, I don't even remember, cartridge style filter. This is going back quite some time ago. Customer came in for an oil change, had a coolant leak. We always replace the O-ring. And make sure you put it in the right receiver groove or you will still have a problem. Cartridge filter, everything back together. So we do a oil change, we fix the coolant leak, the car's gone for 3 or 4 months, we don't see it back. And then I get a phone call about the car acting up. And so of course, I'm the last to touch it, they tow it back to me. I check the coolant, it's full. I check the engine oil, it's full. It cranks fast, like there's no compression. Time and chain tensioner or guide broke, and just pulling the motor. Pictures of the coolant bottle and the oil stick. I never even brought it in the shop. As soon as it came off the tow truck, I popped the hood while the tow truck guy was here, and I inspected it. Customers lost their mind, blamed us, and I said, well, it's no secret that these GM engines blow timing chains. The engine's full of oil, the coolant's good, it's got nothing to do with me. If you Google it, you will see that it's very common that this engine, this is an older GM 2.5 engine. There's nothing I can do for you. We don't do timing chains, we don't do engines. They mother F me, said they're going to sue me, do all this other shit. They call corporate, they call God, they call the news company, they call blah, 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 blah. So then, like, a month later, I get a letter from an attorney saying that they, are filing a complaint, blah, 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 blah. He wanted a response from me before we move forward. So, I Googled the year, make, and model, and the engine class, and all the issues. And actually, it was a class action lawsuit or some crap that was going on for that. And I sent him all the links. I spelled out what was going on. And 30 days later, I get a response that he's not taking the case. That was that. So then she took it to another shop, and then she sent me pictures of a used oil filter. And then she was showing me that it was sucked in. All right. So I was like, okay, well, I don't even know if that's our oil filter. He took it to another shop that probably has a bucket of used oil filters like I do. Like, I probably have 50 or 60 different oil filters in my shop, and some I take out or sucked in, and some I take out or not. Engines didn't blow up. So then the shop told her that because we didn't change the oil filter is why her engine failed. Well, that was a big lie, because every engine and oil filter system today is designed with the oil bypass. And what that means is if the system becomes clogged in the filter, it will bypass the oil from the filter assembly and continue to lubricate the engine. So once I responded to their mechanic and told them that it would be impossible for the engine, now the filter blew apart and clogged up everything, then yes, but it did. He showed me a filter that was a little sucked in. And like I said, I don't believe that was even our filter. Most filters that I take out look like this, and then when they've been in there for a while, and what's a while today? I mean, they're telling you change your oil 10 to 12,000 miles on your filters. So I tell him, I was like, well, if you were a real mechanic, you would really know that every vehicle is designed with a bypass in the filters, so that if the filter does become clogged, that it will bypass oil and lubricate the engine and still perform safely. So after I told him that, they all went away. But you have to know your business. And I, for one, have been around a long time, and I know what's going on. Now, if you left the oil filter out, and I've seen this, or pieces out, you could have low oil pressure and damage an engine. But I've never seen an engine fail from an oil filter that was just a little bit, the paper element was sucked in, and I don't know how much it was sucked in. They just showed me pictures, and I was like, how do I even know that's my oil filter? You do oil changes as much as anyone else. You can just grab one and try and point your finger. You're a dick for even trying to entertain them to get me to buy a motor for that customer when you already know that it was a time and change grenade from design. The engine was full of oil and the coolant was full of oil. It's got nothing to do with me. And people just point their fingers because you're the last guy to touch it. I've even seen BMWs where quick lubes forget to put the piece in. They put the filter in, and then the engine runs low on oil. I've never seen the engine blow up. They get a low oil pressure warning light. Like I said, I've never seen an engine. I've actually never seen an oil filter so clogged that it did blow up an engine. Never. That was sludge. I've seen some sludged up engines. But me, never seen an oil filter that was clogged and caused an engine to fail. So now we're going to finish up this oil change because I don't let any engines drip dry unless I have to walk away and do something, unless it's my race car. That I will let. So now I brake clean the drain plug. I'm going to add RTV silicone to it, because that's what I do. This helps prevent leaks, drips, and fraud. So if this car comes back and has a different color RTV on here, or quick glue stick, or whatever they use, I will know that it was touched after me. Customers can go anywhere and get other things done without knowing it. So that's that for this oil change and this episode. We'll see.